In a startling revelation, Rosie O'Donnell has disclosed that she secretly returned to the United States for a brief 2-week visit after fleeing the country last year. Speaking with Chris Cuomo on the SiriusXM show Cuomo Mornings, O'Donnell, 63, explained that she traveled back to see her family and to test the logistics and safety of entering and exiting the country. She described it as a deeply personal experiment, a way to feel what it felt like to be home after more than a year abroad. O'Donnell's decision comes after relocating to Ireland in January to escape the United States under the Trump administration, citing fears for her safety and concerns over repeated threats. O'Donnell brought along her youngest child, 12-year-old Clay, but left her adult children behind, highlighting the intensely personal nature of this trip. She reflected on the changes she perceived upon returning to New York, noting that the country felt very different to her after a year away, largely insulated from American news and cultural programming. Her words reveal the psychological toll that living under the constant scrutiny and threat of political and media pressure can exert on public figures. Analysts note that this is a rare glimpse into the lived experience of celebrities navigating personal safety, political hostility, and familial responsibility, especially in an era of heightened polarization. Beyond family and personal concerns, O'Donnell framed her visit as a test of the system itself, examining how straightforward or difficult it would be for her to enter and exit the country amid her self-imposed exile. Her comments shed light on the extraordinary circumstances faced by public figures who feel compelled to leave their own nation and the complex decisions involved in balancing safety with familial and emotional obligations. Rosie O'Donnell's long-standing feud with Donald Trump provides critical context for understanding her actions. Their conflict began over a decade ago during her tenure on The View in 2006, when O'Donnell publicly rejected Trump as a moral authority, citing what she viewed as his problematic personal history. Since then, Trump has frequently targeted O'Donnell in public statements, at times threatening her citizenship. The intensity of this animosity has shaped O'Donnell's decisions regarding her residency and even her relocation abroad. O'Donnell has described Trump in stark terms, calling him King Joffrey with a tangerine spray tan and a dangerous old soulless man with dementia. Analysts suggest that such pointed language reflects not only personal anger but a broader critique of Trump's leadership style and public persona. In interviews, O'Donnell has indicated that her choice to leave the United States was not impulsive but rather a calculated move to protect her mental health, her child, and her sense of security. Observers note that this case illustrates how political and personal conflict can intersect for public figures, influencing life-altering decisions such as emigration and citizenship applications. Despite her outspoken criticism, O'Donnell has maintained that her departure was driven less by fear of verbal attacks and more by concern over her safety in the broader socio-political climate. Her move to Ireland, where she is pursuing citizenship, reflects a desire for stability and a life free from persistent political intimidation, providing her with legal and emotional safeguards while Trump remains a dominant political figure in the U.S. Recent 2-week visit underscores O'Donnell's ongoing negotiation between personal freedom and familial obligation. She emphasized that seeing her children, especially Clay, was a primary motivation for returning, stating that she needed to hold them after more than a year apart. While in New York, she experienced a sense of dissonance, remarking that the United States felt completely different from the country she had left, shaped both by distance and her decision to avoid American news and cultural media during her time abroad. O'Donnell also noted the contrasting environments between Ireland and the United States. She praised the balance she found abroad, an absence of celebrity worship and more balanced news coverage, highlighting the psychological and emotional relief she has gained by living outside of the intense scrutiny of American media culture. Experts in celebrity sociology observe that such detachment can significantly reduce stress and provide a clearer perspective on one's own country, a phenomenon that O'Donnell clearly experienced firsthand. Interestingly, O'Donnell made clear that the visit did not alter her decision to live primarily abroad, suggesting that even direct exposure to her home country reinforced her choice. Analysts highlight that this indicates a conscious weighing of emotional and physical safety against the desire to maintain connections with family, a balance that public figures in politically charged environments often struggle to achieve. Her revelations also raise broader questions about the interplay between political conflict and personal liberty. O'Donnell has suggested that the atmosphere in the United States while she was away felt scary, emphasizing a pervasive sense of unease. She spoke of an intangible energy that felt fundamentally wrong, noting that nobody is doing anything about it. Political commentators point out that O'Donnell's comments echo sentiments of alienation and distrust that have intensified in recent years for many Americans, particularly public figures who face heightened scrutiny and threats. The return to New York served as both a personal test and a statement on the current cultural climate, illustrating the complex realities of living in a country where fame, political tension, and personal safety intersect. By navigating this temporary return with her child, O'Donnell demonstrated both the courage and vulnerability required to balance familial responsibilities with political and personal concerns. Analysts note that her experience could be instructive for others in similar situations, highlighting the psychological weight of exile and the complicated decisions involved in returning, even temporarily, to one's home country. O'Donnell's account also reflects on the broader American media environment. By avoiding mainstream news and cultural television for a year, she experienced a significant shift in perspective, reinforcing her sense that detachment can provide clarity and protect mental health. This insight resonates with experts in media studies, who argue that selective media consumption can dramatically influence one's perception of national events, political dynamics, and cultural norms. Looking ahead, Rosie O'Donnell plans to return to the United States again in the near future, bringing her youngest child along for an extended visit during the summer. She emphasized that safety remains a central concern, and that her temporary return was part of assessing the environment for a longer stay. Her statements underscore the delicate balance between personal freedom, familial connection, and security in a politically polarized environment. O'Donnell concluded by reaffirming her conviction that leaving the United States was the right choice for herself and her family. She framed her decision not as permanent exile, but as a necessary measure for mental health and safety, while maintaining a connection to her home country. Experts suggest that her narrative highlights the pressures faced by public figures who are openly critical of powerful political actors and the lengths to which they may go to protect themselves and their families. Ultimately, O'Donnell's secret visit offers a rare window into the personal consequences of political conflict and celebrity scrutiny, demonstrating how these factors can shape life choices, family decisions, and perceptions of home. Her story continues to evolve, reminding audiences that behind the headlines of fame and political opposition lies a complex human story of survival, care, and personal agency. Beyond the personal and political aspects, O'Donnell's story highlights a broader conversation about freedom, safety, and the pressures faced by public figures in today's polarized climate. Her experience shows how distance can offer perspective, allowing her to evaluate both her country and her own priorities with clarity. While her secret visit to the U.S. was brief, it reinforced her decision to live abroad for the time being, balancing family connections with the need for security and peace of mind. For viewers, it's a reminder that even the lives of celebrities involve difficult choices, personal sacrifices, and the constant negotiation between public exposure and private well-being.